Hey, and welcome to our sixth episode of League of Bets, the podcast where we talk about everything esports, including news, tips, and predictions. At heart, we're just nerds that love gaming, but also a cheeky punt on esports. In today's episode, we'll be looking at the League of Legends World Championships groups and who we think are good value to make it out. But first, how's your week, Ryan?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I've been doing some solo queue grinding, and I thought after a few long, hard sessions that I've decided to start running again with my partner.
Oh,
So my legs are on fire. I made about 5K last night for my second run. So the pace was pretty slow, but still still making it through. But
yeah, I saw with the solo queue adventures you'd won, was it 14 in a row in the last 24 hours?
yeah, I mean, obviously smurfing, but still 14 in a row feels pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
but see if we can grind back up to where I should be. But what about you, Seagull? What have you been doing?
Yeah. I had it's always a busy week, isn't it? But a mix of gaming and IRL commitments. Had a day off today. The girls were in daycare and I didn't have work, so I finally got around to replacing a retaining wall at my house. Good fun stuff. But it was
Let's
like
go.
raining. It was raining all day, so it was such a terrible day to do it.
Oh no.
As far as gaming updates, I've decayed back to 0 LP Masters TFT, and I'm sitting there till the end of the season. So,
So you don't go down to Diamond and TFT?
no, it's funny.
That's pretty pog.
If you're 0 LP Masters, you like rank like 5,000, but if you get like 1 LP, you go up to like rank 2,000 or something. So many people are camping 0 LP.
That's probably Diamond 4 in Summoner's Rift.
Exactly. Just let the decay do its thing and chill there for the sweet banner for the next season.
So good.
Exactly. What about you, J Rod? What have you been up to?
I've also been trying to fix my solo queue MMR for next season. I think the push to Diamond might be a bit of a struggle this one with me playing too many champs during the season and not really taking it seriously. But
Just
I've been having a lot.
Zoe, man, you can do it.
Dude, I've been having more fun on Corki lately. Call me boring, but I love a good package into a team fight. So
love a good package.
But apart from that, IRL sort of stuff. Mum bought a new farm with her husband, so went and checked that out and had the dog run and chase a few kangaroos and wild deer around the place. I don't know what he would have done if he caught them. Maybe got up and boxed one of them, but I reckon the kangaroo might have had the upper hand in that one. So I'm glad he didn't. He was having so much fun. So
it's good that someone in your family knows how to farm, Jared. So
oh, brilliant. I don't know. I think we just need to move on to the news stories after that, Burn.
Let's do it.
Beto Faker may be in trouble here. Deathmark tries to clean it up for Ryu. Oh, look at the cleanse. Look at the
news.
So, did you guys check out the music video that Riot released this week? I thought it was all right.
So good and so in depth as well.
Well, like a few of the we noticed that the animations were obviously had to be made in advance, and they thought the powerhouse of G2 would make it, and Reckless featured on there, and unfortunately for EU they're not there. So that was pretty
I can't
funny.
tell if that's a bit of a feels bad or maybe feels good that he still made the video anyway and he's still part
they
of
just
Worlds.
didn't cut it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think I was talking to you about it, Jared, because I was like, "Oh, who's this like blonde-haired dude that's like, portrayed as Jin?" And I guess it's probably Reckless.
Yeah,
it
was.
It would have been Sven. Like,
no, because we didn't really know who it was, and I did a bit of a scroll through Reddit, and the Reddit analysts were all pretty sure it was Reckless.
Yeah. But good to see Showmakers making his big appearance, and I don't know. They're always so like I don't know how to describe it. It's not cringe, but it's kind of like nerdy cringe, and we like hype for it. But if anyone else looked at it, they would be like, "This is so cringe."
Yeah. Like if that was like football or like basketball, you'd just be like, "Oh gosh, like, what are they advertising?"
Yeah, I tell you what, I first listened to it just the audio, and the song sounded pretty good. And then when I watched the video, I was like, "Okay, like this is nerdy." But, but the fact that it's got good music behind it does help.
Someone
Well, it
on
wasn't.
Reddit actually showed that the last 5 world songs have all been in the same key, and you can play them over the top of each other. And there's actually sections where there's like really quality melodies
Oh,
because
nice.
they all sort of fit together. Which, I mean, that's kind of cool, but also like get a bit more original,
Copy
right?
pasta.
Like, come on, yeah.
But they didn't one year they get like Imagine Dragons to like kind of help them
Yeah.
out? Like they're pretty quality. They're not, they're not kind of
Oh,
just
dude, the
garbage music
meme
videos.
the meme is real about Riot having a better music production part of their business than the patch notes and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Definitely better
So-
than the client, that's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. I hope there's word about a new sort of launcher client coming out, and who knows, maybe it'll fix the League client somehow.
And
But anyway,
we're already into the banter, pre-worlds banter. We saw you showed me a video of some famous Chinese casters kind of doing the classic LPL versus LEC, who's got the upper hand there with the LCS coming in the end, and everyone kind of memeing on them.
So just for a bit of context, it was kind of like a parody on like a video that the NBA put out a little while ago. That was who is the greatest player of all time, and they were arguing about like Jordan versus LeBron. And then the setting was all these, as Ryan said, all these like LPL personalities like in a pub, and they were kind of arguing about which team has the advantage, or like other weird politics that happened during the season. So
yeah, definitely. If you kind of scrolled over that one when you're scrolling through Reddit or YouTube, we'd highly recommend you give it a watch. It's pretty funny.
Link it somewhere that you can have a.
Yeah,
have
we'll
a
put
look.
it at the bottom of the podcast. And speaking of, this is going to be our first one that we're popping up onto Spotify. So we've made it, boys. Hey, everyone listening in from there. But yeah, I do want to, before we move on from that, there were some pretty in-depth, like intricate details in that video. Like, did you guys see the posters in the background were actually all of the World Championship skins that each team had won? And there was little things like a TSM baseball cap with like a flights back to America, like sitting next to it.
The bill was picked up by the owner of Team Liquid because they're all cashed up now, and
money man Steve.
It's recommended to watch the Reddit footnotes alongside, so you don't miss any of the little references that they have. But
yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I've been really enjoying watching a lot of K-Drill and Midbeast streams, and they've been checking out a lot of the solo queue action going down. And finally, we've had the Korean players land in Europe, and we've been treated to a little bit of special mid picks from some of those players, like the Vi mid specialty. I haven't actually watched it, but I know Seagull was talking to me about it before.
Yeah, apparently Vi's base health regen is like pretty crazy. So you start 3 rejuve bead, and then like you just you can just survive any poke in lane. And I think she must just be overtuned with Divine Sunder at the moment, because whereas I haven't really versed many Vi mids, I've versed a couple of Vi jungles where I've been fed, and then she suddenly just one combos me from nothing. Yep.
And she's so tanky as well. Like, it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I think it's kind of this weird meta that's evolving with Tryndamere mid. I'm not sure who's kind of like brought it up, but I saw like a Garen mid to like, I guess, combat that Tryndamere mid.
I don't think we'll see a Garen at Worlds, but
no, but
it would be cool.
Remember the Garen uni days?
I do. I remember it fondly.
So it'll be interesting to see how many of these like picks are just a meme while you're climbing in EU Diamond solo queue, or how many are like practicing for Worlds. But K-Drill seems to think the Tryndamere mid's going to be a pretty high priority pick. I know we've got like a Mumu with the new reworks. We've seen that basically in every game in support.
Like, I think the Tryndamere and Amumu, so Tryndamere mid and Amumu support, like, if you asked us like a month ago, you'd be like, lol. But those are two sort of niche picks now that I think we will see them, and they'll one of them could become pick or ban, like especially the Amumu. I'm anticipating that one could be really scary.
with that AoE ult. But yeah, maybe the Garen and the Vi mids will have to be a very special occasion.
I mean, I
for us
think the
to see
question
those, I
is
think.
how long until they've already realized that mages are useless. They're starting to realize that AD carry is useless. How long until we just have 5 bruisers versus 5 bruisers as like the meta?
True.
maybe one tank. That'd be cool.
Yeah, or just like
someone...
an ego support enchantress.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Eagle Enchanter supports are going to be also quite up there. I think it'll be the tanky engage. Like we'll see the Leon and we'll see the Nautilus every now and then, and we'll see the Amumu. But the Nami, super strong at the moment. Lulu's kind of fallen off a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe some Sorakas or possibly even a Janna into like an anti-dive sort of
disengage comp. Yep.
Yeah.
And I know this segment's dragging a little bit, but I just wanted to I just remembered some technology that Coxley and I found the other night. So Ashe support with MF carry. You hit an arrow and it's a guaranteed kill with like MF's ult. Like it was so strong, and the poke is crazy. Like I'm sure there's some counters, but we had some good fun.
Do you both go like Comet or something, or do you stick to the normal?
I think MF goes normal build, Ashe goes support Comet with Imperial Mandate as like your rush item.
Yeah. And very quickly, but I know we're not going to see it, but the Vex has come out since our last podcast, and I've been having a lot of fun playing her in some normal drafts and in ARAM. I can't wait to see her in pro player. I think she's going to be a bloody menace next year.
Yeah, it'd be good to see some, because she gets the ult reset on a kill, of course, and it's almost like a Kaiser W ult, but you can do it 5 times if you play it right. So
yeah, and it's so quick and so wide. It's hard to avoid her combo if she wants to hit it on you.
2021 champs, eh?
Yeah. All right. Speaking of solo queue, we saw a few interesting ones. We saw Bwipo got a pentakill against Faker's team, and so that might be rubbing some salt in some wounds pre-worlds. And saw it mustn't have been Chovy because we just looked at his stats and he's like only lost 1 game. But I saw one of the LCK players had lost a bunch of games in a row and just mental boomed. And Cadril made a good point of maybe the EUW solo queue is actually the 4th team playing for the LEC by just mental booming all of the Eastern and North American players coming into the region. I thought that was pretty funny. It would be interesting to see if the solo queue does tilt them mentally or not.
Yeah, you'd expect that every single pro player, like, doesn't matter where they're from, which region they're from, they should be climbing from Diamond in the US. You wouldn't expect them to, not all of them are going to get 100% win rates or anything like that. But yeah, you should be climbing, not demoting back to Plat 1. I think it was the substitute LNG support says here, so demoted back to Plat 1. So I don't know how you go from there. That's kind of like
I guess you take it with a pinch of salt.
You
have to look at like the sample size of games. Like some of them have only been there probably a couple of days and only got a dozen games, whereas some have already put up like 150 plus games.
And maybe they just got a little bit unlucky. Like it wouldn't, if you lose your first 5 or 6 in a row on a fresh account, you might demote from D4 to Plat 1.
Yeah, you might have rolled some peace players as teammates or something. Not much you can do about that.
Yeah. So good.
Should we move on to the next segment?
Let's do it. I'm keen to
time.
Fun time.
All right, so I'm starting to run out of ideas. So please, if any viewers have any suggestions of what to do, chuck them in the comments, and I will definitely consider it. But I did come up with a little bit of a stolen idea from another podcast, but I've made it league themed. So I asked Ryan and Jared earlier if any of them fancied themselves a bit of a multitasker, and Jared put his hand up straight away. He said He's always multitasking. Look, he's drinking and listening at the same time.
Exactly, I can do that because I'm good at it.
So what do you reckon, Jared? Like, if you were at your PC and Sick Dog sort of is talking to you as you're in Discord, like playing solo queue, you can handle you take in the information that she's saying as well, and you're still able to, like, you know, pay attention to the game or pay attention to what people are saying in Discord.
Yeah, for sure. Unless it's about chores around the house, and then I conveniently like
selective hearing.
Yeah.
Okay,
much.
well, basically, I've found 2 old Reddit shitposts that hopefully you haven't heard, and Ryan and I are going to read them at the same time. So you're going to like try and pick out the differences in our voices, and then there'll be a little comprehension test at the end. So,
okay, I love it.
It's probably like about a 30-second to 1 minute read, I'd say.
This will be a good play along for the viewers at home. See if you're able to do
it
as well.
So pay attention. All right, are you ready, Ryan?
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's read away. I am a self-admitted Zoe hater. Since Riot released her, I have been very loud about my disapproval in several ways. I consider her gregarious, a waste of space, a highlight of all the weaknesses in Riot's game design. Annoying, loud, childish, a magnet for all the worst members of the game's community. But then I spent the last week watching my niece, and I really understand something I didn't before. My niece is 6 years old and a bit of a drama queen. One of her favourite activities is pretending to have a problem with something, no matter how little, just for fun. She has little respect for my private space or my stuff. Rest in peace, my old baseball trophy, and overall was an absolute demon. Taking care of her sort of felt like having a Zoe on my team. It's a far reach of a metaphor, but after finally getting her to sleep, I had dreams of myself of people locking in Zoe, except it wasn't Zoe, it was my niece's face.
Pick order determined by ping. The enemy bans Na, Azir, and Maokai. What is this? Season 5? Ruffle? I first pick Urgot and go to Urgot's wiki to kill time. Urgot.
Cool. That'll do, I reckon, Ryan. It was, yeah.
Oh my god, that was so hard.
It was hard for me too.
Yeah, it was actually hard to read it, but
super hard.
All right. So my first question.
Here we go.
So what did the Urgot main draw a picture of to get some IP from Riot?
Was it Ezreal?
It was Ezreal, but
okay.
More information?
No, I couldn't give you any more than that.
I was drinking something.
Oh, drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah, well done. All right. Yeah. Okay, so what is the champion that I was talking about, and who do I compare it to in my personal life?
Zoe, to your 6-year-old niece.
Yeah, well done. It's pretty good.
Nice,
pretty good.
Nice.
All right. Let's get more specific. How is first pick on these new futuristic servers?
My ping, baby.
It's determined by ping. Yeah.
I read it twice and I don't even know.
Yeah.
I wonder who goes first, high ping or low ping.
Well, yeah, true. It doesn't say. I'd assume low ping, but okay. So, what does my 6-year-old niece destroy? What do I reminisce about her wrecking?
Oh, I don't think I caught that one. At all.
Okay, it was my old baseball trophy.
Oh no, I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah, that was.
I literally have no idea what you talked about, Seagull. I
found it hard to read. I think. Look, I was trying to make an example of Jared and how hard this was, but he actually did pretty well, I think.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Fun fact, I'm nowhere near Einstein's level, but he could listen to 6 different conversations at once and be able to respond to any of them.
Wow. See, when I listen to it, I just I pick up like keywords and I might get lucky in the comprehension if like that comes up. But yeah, did you have like a thought process when you did it? Or were you like, listening to Ryan and then like tuning into mine every now and then?
Yeah. That's what I did. Like I definitely could hear Ryan a bit clearer So
Okay.
I was listening to him a bit more. And as soon as you said Ergot at the start, I was like, oh yeah, my man. And then you were like Zoe.
Well, that's
so
why I
I
picked
was a
him.
bit
I was like,
conflicted. Yeah. My two most highly played champions.
Do you remember how much BP
Yeah,
got cost?
9,600.
Oh, easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's a genius.
Yeah. All right. Well done, Jared. Maybe we'll try it again and make it a bit harder next time.
Don't know about a genius. I need to get to the 5-6 conversations for that, I reckon.
Well, when Sick Dog's back, we'll do 3 at once, maybe, and we'll see how that goes.
I don't think I'd be. Maybe if one's in the left ear, one's in the right ear, we'll see.
Cool.
And
all right. Well, thanks for playing, guys. Let's take it to the next segment.
Nice one.
It's time to deep
dive.
So for our deep dive this week, guys, we're going to be trying to go pretty heavy into who we think is going to get out of each of the stages of Worlds. So the play-ins first up, Group A and Group B. Then we'll look at Group A, B, C, D for the groups stage. And then we might have a few cheeky predictions on who we think are going to be likely to finish in the semi-finals or sort of get knocked out first in the quarters, etc. Because my opinion is that there's definitely a high caliber in the top 4 teams, but I don't really see many having much of a chance outside of that. Obviously, there's always a small chance, but yeah, we'll get into that part of it. So,
should I go over the Group A and Group B of play-ins then?
I reckon let's just start with Group A, and we'll just chat about that one.
Yeah, okay. So we've got Hanwha Life, who's the 4th seed of the LCK, and we've got the 4th seed of the LPL, LNG Esports. Then we have Infinity, Peace, and Red Canids. Which,
so I know the Peace are definitely from Oceania because they're our boys. But yeah, maybe if you want to let everyone else know.
Yeah, we've got
Infinity
is from LAS, so the Latin America South. So they won that competition here, and then we've
seen Infinity quite a few times in international tournaments.
Yeah, household name in LoL esports now.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then we've got the Red Canids, who are the Brazilian representatives. So it's going to be pretty interesting there with the 2 South American qualifiers. I know the
That'll be a
Brazilians
banger.
love their esports, and it's getting pretty popular here where I am in the South too. So yeah, going to be some big rivalries there. I'm looking forward to those games actually.
So I'm going to give I'll give my wild prediction first of last place in the group, and it's going to be Peace, unfortunately, for the Aussie boys.
Well, Jared, last time you bet against Australia, there's actually a really high production quality video of you doing a shoey on.
I do remember that, and I said that I would do a shoey if they won a single game at Worlds,
and then they made it out of
3.
groups.
They made it out of groups. They even beat Cloud9, didn't they? From memory, at MSI.
Yeah.
So
they did.
Yeah, good on them. I hope that I get proved wrong again.
Would you wager a shoey on it?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I'll
hit him up on. I'll hit it up on Twitter. I'll hit him up on Twitter.
Right.
I'll be like, but Pentanet said yes. They responded. No, Peace is actually. I really like them as a team. But like always, Oceania's just been gutted, and I think Pentanet way outperformed like where they should. Got a little bit lucky with not having the Vietnamese team in the group, so they only had to beat Unicorns of Love, which they did 3 out of 5 games. So excellent work, but I just don't really see it happening at Worlds where only the top 2 get through, and we've got LCK and LPL 4th seeds in there.
Yeah, look, I do think that Peace does have a chance against Infinity and maybe even Red Canids. I think
less so, but maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think Red's probably a step above just because of the quality of the Brazilian league. It's pretty well known to be, one of those up-and-coming regions that have produced some good teams. But then, obviously, we're comparing them to Hanwha Life and LNG, so kind of good luck to any of those other 3 teams.
I mean, to be honest, my hope is that we just get to see a bit more OS by them making it to round 2 of play-ins, because the bottom team of that first 5 is eliminated, and then and the top one goes through, and then the other 3 go to round 2. So
is it? I thought it was straight in. Okay, I thought it was top 3. Sorry, top gets straight through, and then the next 2 play off for the other spot.
Bottom gets eliminated, top goes straight through, and then the rest are in Playin Stage 2.
Cool. Okay. Well, hopefully we can maybe
not bottom.
We as in peace win 1 or 2 That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting between those bottom 3 teams, but yeah, you're kind of fighting for the best spot of the 3 losers.
Yeah. So I guess I haven't seen all that much LCK this year, so I need to talk to a few more of my expert mates who have watched lots of it. But my opinion would be that LNG probably takes top spot in that group. I would consider them a maybe 6th or 7th place team at Worlds, not just in play-ins. Like, it's just a bit unfair that LPL has to go into play-ins, and
LNG
they really should just be straight through to groups. Yeah. Tarzan's still one of the best junglers in the world. Yeah. I mean, maybe Canyon number 1, and then Tarzan in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, bit of a jungle diff is going to be in every game, and then you have still 4 other quality players.
I think it probably for me goes LNG top, so straight through. Han will Life get the 2nd place, and they'll probably smash whoever they have to play on the other. Because do they play the other side of the bracket or just within their own group? Do you know? You might have to look that one up. But
the first goes through.
No, the other group, they cross over in round 2.
And like Group A's got probably the 2 best teams in play-ins in it. So like even if you're playing against is it Beyond Gaming's the PCS representative, and who else is the
Detonation Focus Me?
Detonation, and you'd back in almost like any sort of middle to top half of the LPL or LCK to beat any of those teams.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, LNG top, Hanwha Life 2nd, probably Red 3rd, Infinity 4th, or Peace 4th if they have a really good run.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that group's not too difficult to predict unless you're predicting LCK over LPL.
Yeah, which there's definitely some merit to that, but Group B is definitely the spicy group. Probably some different ways this one could go. What were your thoughts initially, J-Rod?
So we had Beyond Gaming, Cloud9, Unicorns of Love, Galatasaray, and Detonation Focus Me. So I mean, you'd be back, even though it's North America, you'd still be back in Cloud9 to get out of play-ins and into groups. In that probably number 1 position, I don't really see. I don't know how good or bad Beyond Gaming is. I haven't actually caught their. I need to go and do some research on them.
The Taiwanese region. Yeah. So generally, not far off the style of like the LPL, really. So that can be really competitive teams coming out of there. And then if you also look at like Unicorns of Love's performance in MSI as well, like O's beat them, so
they've actually got and this is something we'll chat about later, but all of the books are really downgrading Unicorns of Love. Like, they've got them as almost like, apart from Peace, one of the worst teams in the competition. And I would say that's probably correct based off of MSI, how we saw them, and they weren't putting the world on fire in their regional leagues. Like, they made it through gauntlets to get to Worlds and MSI. So I think that's probably a fair assumption that Unicorns might be bottom of that table. I'd be saying Unicorns of Love bottom, Cloud9 top are probably my two picks. And then
probably Beyond Detonation, 2nd, I'd say, and the other 2 coin flip.
Yep, I reckon. Like Galatasaray, it's almost a stylistic. How well do the styles match up in that group against
rock,
other
paper,
teams?
scissors?
How well the teams figured out the meta, since it's been such a big meta shift. I mean, we've been talked about it a lot. Who just follows the meta, who figures it out, and who creates their own meta. So this is kind of where we can see teams really choke or teams,
Yeah.
outperform. Is the meta going to mean that a team like Unicorns of Love or Infinity can beat LNG? Probably not, but it does mean, in those middle kind of order teams that can see some variance there.
I think it more just means like if they get in front and the meta suits them, then they can beat those teams that are better than them if the meta is suiting that team. But yeah, we'll wait and see. So I guess, yeah, Cloud9 and Beyond Gaming probably to go through to the group stage from that group.
Yeah, interesting you say that. I would have thought that Detonation Focus Me was more the favourites over Cloud9, but Cloud9 are one of those teams that can
Over Cloud9.
yeah,
okay.
beat any team, right? Or they could choke. Who knows how they're going to bring? I mean, you saw Perks' solo queue performance. Is he just totally out of it, or is he going to make it to Final Four kind of thing?
I think that like the Perks might be at the stage in his career where like solo queue is just purely for fun. He's at Worlds for fun, but doesn't mean that he's not still a better mid laner than the Detonation Focus Me mid laner. Like, I just think that with all the resources behind a team like Cloud9 and all of the quality in the players that they do have around them, come Worlds, it's a different story. And my opinion is that like LCS is going to be a way better league than the Japanese league, and you'd probably be backing in even like, I hate to say it, but like CLG over Detonation in like a best of one.
Interesting. Well, I guess
that's my opinion, so we'll see.
But then, so let's say Cloud9 and LNG get through, and let's say Unicorns of Love and Peace get eliminated, and then we swap over to the other side. Does a team like Detonation Focus Me have a chance against Hanwha Life? And if we're saying Detonation Focus Me is, let's say, their second seed, do they have a chance against like Infinity and Red? How are we looking at how those matchups?
That's something that like it's going to be so hard to predict right now. I think we need to wait until we've seen them playing a few games in the early play-ins. Like obviously, like LCK is LCK. So at Hanwha Life, even though people meme on them for being maybe not the best team ever, like because they don't have a chance at actually winning the whole thing, they do have certain weaknesses, but like Morgan, for instance. But like Morgan's still a fucking good player. He's going to shit on people from like South America. I would like if you're a challenger player in Korea, like you're a pretty fucking good player.
Yeah, exactly. So are we saying we've kind of locking in LNG, Cloud9, Hanwha, and then the last position is kind of the wild card position that
I think so, yeah.
anyone can take? Our favourites being DFM or maybe
Beyond.
Red.
I reckon Beyond have a good crack, but yeah, as Jared said, we have to see how they perform in Iceland really as a team.
Yeah, like PCS has been like propped up majorly by PSG in the last few years. Like PSG overperformed for their region.
But that is true. Like PSG just don't drop games, so maybe the rest of it is like the next caliber below.
Yeah, we definitely have to gonna do a bit more research on that one. Talk to our mates who follow a lot more PCS and get a bit of a feel for them before we see them play their first game or two.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good analysis. And then...
So, yeah, on to the groups, the main event. This is where it all starts to mean something. So we've got 4 groups, and the Group A is an incredible first matchup. We've got Darm1 versus FPX, so the 2 favourites of the whole competition. You'd be thinking pretty strongly they're going to get out of a group with Rogue, who are not performing to the best of their ability coming into Worlds, which is unfortunate because last year going into MSI, like they were looking like such a good team, and then just like it all went downhill from when. Yeah.
Who did you guys put in as your crystal ball predictions, by the way? I don't know if you guys did the Riot built in who's going to win overall.
Ready? We'll say it. We'll do it all on 3, 2, 1.
All
So
right.
we're not like, all right, ready? 3, 2, 1. FPX.
Mad.
Oh, mad! Are you crazy?
I just like
Maybe he's going for like
felt-
a high risk, high reward. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
everyone will pick
not
FPX, surely.
and it's like we could chat about this as like a gambling sort of strategy of like, if you're just going for all of the favorites and you're trying to win that like free Alienware PC or whatever they give out each year, you're probably not going to get it because there'll be like hundreds of other people who are also picking all the favorites. You kind of need to throw in something like
Well, what was
Badlands.
your thought process there, Ryan? Apart from you like LEC,
mainly, yeah,
LEC
mainly
fanboy.
yeah, maybe just an LEC fanboy. I just think that outside of Asia, Mad are the only team that has a chance of doing anything, and yeah, I just backing in my
it's not
Western
impossible.
LEC boys.
Unlikely,
No, it's
but
definitely not
impossible.
impossible. No, like that's I think Mad is like a really solid dark horse pick. I probably wouldn't have put him as my pick.
Yeah, and look, we'll chat about it when we get to Group D. But like, they're surely gonna get out of groups. Like,
you would think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Darm 1 versus FPX. We got Rogue in there with them, and then that means we've got to have a Playins team that isn't from. So
Cloud9.
presumably we're going to get Cloud9 in there, and they're going to get fucking pumped. So Darm 1 and FPX to get out of that group pretty easy for me.
I mean, Cloud9 could also go into Group C, so it could be like Detonation or one of the other random regions. But
yeah.
And
and
does
again,
someone
they're going to get
decide
pumped.
that? Does someone decide that, or is it random?
So they do a draw, and if you get picked and you can go into Group A, then you'll go into it. Otherwise, they'll shift you to Group B or to Group C. Like,
okay,
so
it just falls into the next one. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
If you were the tournament organizers, you would want to put them in Group C where they have a chance.
Well, yeah, like Group A is already decided. You would think.
Yeah, so because you want to get like the biggest chance you possibly can from LCS team because they have the biggest
rig it enough so that they might make it to out of groups and then they'll get pumped.
At least an NA team might get out of groups, so that'll be positive.
True.
All right, so Group B, we've got Edward Gaming, so LPL's first seed, 100 Thieves, which have been like, hold on, weren't they the first seed as well?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Or maybe
let's not question the process.
Maybe TL was first seed because it was an aggregate, like the LEC.
Oh, it wasn't just the grand final.
Yeah, maybe like they took in because in LEC, I think.
Anyway, these details don't matter too much.
This is the group.
We've got them in the groups together. So EDG for me are an incredible team. They'd be my I would almost place them above Darm 1 Gaming, which would be pretty controversial for some. But that's probably because
LPL
I watch
fanboy.
a lot of LPL. So I'm backing the boys to do well there. 100 Thieves are a really good team. I really like watching them. I think that they definitely aren't the favourites against a team like T1, who are the LCK spot in there, but they could beat someone like T1, and they could even beat someone like EDG. Like EDG has off days, but when EDG are on, they're perfect. Like it's weird. Like EDG are a little bit like Darm 1 from last year, where Darm 1 were just the perfect team. Everything they did was perfect. And EDG is able to replicate that when they play well, but then they have some games where they get like 3-0'd or 3-1'd.
And yeah, we did see coming into MSI how Darm 1, even though they were just so hyped, they did drop games. I think didn't they lose to C9 and to PSG?
Yep. And should have lost to Detonation.
Yeah, it didn't change the outcome of what we're expecting the finals to be, but when we're making picks on them, if you see 100 Thieves at $3.50 or $4,
I think I'd need a little bit more than that, but
maybe,
yeah.
but I think in my mind I was thinking against T1.
Oh yeah, against T1.
Yeah.
Like if you gave me like $3.50 to $5 range for 100 Thieves to beat T1, I'd be considering it.
Yeah.
But
And,
statistically speaking, T1 are the most successful league franchise of all time. Like they've got three worlds.
And you know what? That's actually I'm glad you brought that up, Seagull, because it's events like this where we see probably the majority of League of Legends esports fans watching, and they don't actually watch the rest of the regional leagues.
But they've heard of Faker and they know T1.
Yep.
So
it's like, how could Faker lose?
He's the best player in the world.
And so what happens at these big events, it's like the grand final for anything. Like people bet on the brands that they know, or if they don't know, they bet on the underdogs. And so you can actually use that sort of information to increase the value of your bets a fair bit. So it would mean that everyone for T1's games are probably jumping on T1. So pretty much we're probably not going to find value on betting for T1 at all this tournament. Even if we think that they're going to win a game against a team, it's probably not a good bet because the market is going to be so heavy onto the T1 side. So, but that's not saying that they're a bad side. I still think that like T1 has a better chance of winning Worlds than LNG.
Do you know, like, is there any kind of data on where the bets come from? Like, so LCS teams are obviously in the public eye a lot. Does that mean that you think there's a lot of the bets coming from Americans that are evening out those odds, or?
Well, it kind of actually depends on what country bookmaker you're sort of going on. And we live in a wonderful age of the internet and VPNs and countries opening up sports betting for everyone. So if you jumped onto an American or a European market, you're probably going to get those like high influx into the Western teams or the big name ones like T1 or FPX, Darm1 Gaming as well because they won it last year. But if you were to go on a Chinese or a Japanese like Asian market, then they're probably going to be a bit cluier onto like, oh, T1 aren't actually that great. So you like there's probably going to be some really good opportunities if you do have access to VPNs and cryptocurrency that you could set up multiple accounts and hedge your bets and make money no matter who wins. If you can get into like a European, an Australian, an Asian and an American bookmaker.
And that sounds like a lot of work, Jared. Is there some kind of Patreon service I could just subscribe to that'll just tell me what to bet on?
Yeah, there sure is, mate. We'll pop it below and join the Discord and we'll give you lots and lots of tips for free or for $20 a month. Little cheeky plug there. But no, it is like if you do want to get like really serious about your betting, like events like this are a godsend for free money. So yeah, jump into that if you want to give it a test. But otherwise, if you're just looking to make it a bit more exciting, you want to hopefully still make a decent amount of money, we give picks and tell you a sort of minimum odds price to jump in on a map.
Sweet. Well, what do you think about Group C then? Run us through, Ryan.
Well, we've got PSG, who, yeah, like you said a few weeks ago, didn't lose a game until finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Fnatic, our boys from the LEC, and then RNG. I mean, you can't really look past RNG, right?
No. I don't like. They are the best third seed you'll ever see from the LPL. Like they are like RNG. We said it coming out of MSI. We said there would be an MSI hangover and they'd play poorly for like a month or so. And what happened? They lost the first 5 or 6 games of the year. And then what happened after that? They fucking won everything except for their finals game. And so because they didn't do very well at the start, they got a pretty poor seeding for finals. They only got one chance because they weren't in the top of the gauntlet, and they lost. And it was like, boo-hoo. I guess anyone could lose a game in finals. And so all of a sudden, I think the expectations are quite low for RNG, but oh my God, like when we did see them play in the second half of the year, they were like really quality. So like they would be my number one pick for like the futures markets if you're going to be looking for like a higher odds pick. I know I've got a few free bonus bets on my sports bet account from the AFL grand final the other week. So you always want to be putting your bonus bets on really high odds things. So that's what I'll be putting mine on.
And then we've got PSG and Fnatic, which I think probably we're gonna have to see how they go. Fnatic played really well at the end of the season, kind of got everything sorted out. Bupo's been popping off in solo queue, and I think that's kind of like a meta thing. The skill level's probably pretty similar.
I must be such a boomer with
how well
League.
they name.
Because I see Fnatic versus RNG, I'm just like, oh sweet, Reckless and Uzi matchup. That's going to be poggers. Like,
yeah.
But we've got the new up and coming talent now, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, got the wife buff.
Well, I was about to say, like, I think that my brain is telling me PSG is maybe technically the better side, but Fnatic Worlds buff, Fnatic wife buff, Wide Whippo back on stage, like
Adam doesn't know what's going on. He's just playing another game on Darius.
Yeah. Like, and I think that could be a really deciding factor for Fnatic is PSG's like how well they play as a drilled unit, and they'll probably be able to punish the weak spots of Fnatic if they can find them. But Fnatic are the sort of team where they can play a lot on just hype, and if they're pumped and ready to go and ready to win, they can win it all. Except for RNG, they probably won't beat them.
If they're level 4, like dive under tower goes well, and someone gets a triple kill, they can win the game from that easily.
Exactly. Fnatic are the sort of team where you'd be like, they're probably not going to win it all, but in some world they could. Like, if everything goes right, whenever they try something, they could win. But that relies on a lot of things going right in a row.
Yeah, exactly. But
so RNG to get out of that one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Definitely.
Finish it off. You go.
I was going to say, in the same realm of that Fnatic, we have Mad in Group D, but RNG in Group C are probably a pretty secure lock-in. What about
and then
place?
Honestly,
that's another potential Cloud9 pool. Don't forget as well.
I was going to say Cloud9 don't get out, but Hanwha Life do. If Hanwha Life get put into that group, Hanwha Life get out.
Yeah, true.
Like we talked to Coach Curtis a little while ago, and it's like nothing to sort of shy away from is teams that get out through play-ins. It means that they've got a much better read on the meta. Yeah, lots of warm-ups. So, yeah.
Cool.
All right, on to the Mad group, your boys. Let's hear from you, Ryan. So we've got Mad Lions, Gen G Esports, and Team Liquid so far. I'm pretty excited for this one. Like, they sound like three teams that are going to be giving some cracking shows.
Crowd favorites, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think this is probably the most even group, but also the easiest group, if that makes sense. Like, you don't have those like RNG or Damwon or FPX.
Put it this way: if you're a play-ins team, you don't want to be going into Group A or Group B.
Yeah,
Group C isn't ideal, and then Group D, you'd be like, oh, I guess we might.
You gotta verse someone. They're all world class teams.
Yeah.
Does that mean we get LNG in this group?
I think so. Yeah. So LNG to me,
I think we automatically put
guaranteed.
LNG in there.
Yeah. Which suddenly makes it not such an easy group as well. Like
that's for like tough teams that are all evenly matched.
But as you said, even. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're probably more even, but also maybe a little step down from those teams that we think are going to win it all. But
it's hard to pick I'd probably be going with Mad. I really do think that their style of play is excellent. Where I'm a little bit hesitant just because obviously you see Mad versing other LEC teams. Mad's a better team this year than they were last year. So we're not going to see any sad lion pictures come up again this year. But yeah, Gen G, even TL are a good side.
I think TL goes last, right? Maybe last with 1 or 2 wins.
I don't think they make it out.
Probably.
And then LNG, Gen G or Mad first. Who knows? And then it's
see LNG's form LNG's form in play-ins might determine whether they're going to be, if they dominate everybody.
And typically one LPL side shits the bed. every Worlds. So I don't see FPX, Edward Gaming, or RNG shitting the bed. So it's just going to have to be LNG.
Maybe.
That's my only reasoning.
But then, do you think that Gen G is just an automatic, like guaranteed in, or is it only Darm One from LCK that T1?
I honestly think it's only Darm One that's a guaranteed from LCK. Like just from the not being an LCK Fnatic supporter, like so I don't mean Fnatic the team, I mean an LCK fan. The general consensus seems to be that T1, Harmwa Life, and Gen G just aren't really up to scratch compared to Darm One.
I think we are seeing that like LPL has become what LCK once was, and that like you don't want to be versing a Chinese team, like because that's a very difficult win.
Yeah, and then the LCK, like the sort of 3rd and 4th seeds, are maybe on par with the 1st and 2nd seeds from LEC. Maybe we'll see. But so
that's the group that I'm most excited for. I think.
I'm happily going to watch any of these groups. Like, it's
yeah.
It's going to be sweet.
I'm actually very excited to see Group B. Like, I am so pumped for the Aussie boys from 100 Thieves. And I also like, who's not a Faker fan? Like, who doesn't want to see T1 get out?
Imagine if they won again.
Exactly.
What a
dude! Like that
Faker
would
retire,
cement him. Well,
I would.
You wouldn't retire after you. That would cement his GOAT status if he won Worlds this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely cement it. Like, I guess he already is, but I don't know if anyone ever could beat it again.
It's the Jordan v LeBron. Like, he was the GOAT, but, in his own era.
100%. Exactly. All right, so I guess we've got our groups, and we are running a little bit later than we normally would, but I think it's fine being a World special. So who's getting to the semi-finals, boys? And who's making it all the way? My opinion would be that Darm One and FPX are staples for the semi-finals.
Yep, agreed.
So it's who are the other two teams that will get there as well?
Well, what do you think, Henry? And I'll go after you since I have opinions.
Jared made a pretty convincing case with RNG, and I think he's right. They've been under the radar. I think RNG could get semis easy. Oh, go on, Mad. Your boys, Ryan.
Yeah.
I reckon best Western hope, potentially. Maybe Fnatic, but yeah. Let's put Mad in the semis.
Like we saw it in the LEC Grand Finals. Mad is such a better team than Fnatic. So
yeah.
I think Fnatic struggle to get out of groups, and if they do, they lose in the quarters to whoever they play.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I like the Mad pick. I think I'd be happy to go definitely RNG, and then.
So you're the same as me, down one FPX, RNG, Mad.
I think I'm probably going to go EDG over Mad, but I think that you're not too, like, I don't think it's outrageous to say Mad.
3 LPL teams.
They're that good, man.
Yeah.
It could be 4. Like if the seedings work out properly,
that'd be so disappointing.
Very well could be 4. It won't work out like that though. I think that it's kind of like the way that they seed everyone almost guarantees that 4 from LCK or LPL can't make it to the semis.
I'm going Darm 1, FPX, T1, and Mad in the final 4.
Ooh, T1. I like it.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. I'd love to see T1 and Mad duking it out for a final spot, and then FPX versus Darm 1 in the
that'd be sweet. Semi. It's kind of win-win. Like, I'd like to see either of those teams in finals. So
and then who wins it all, boys? I guess that was our crystal ball. FPX, and Mad. Are you thinking Mad, or that's just your pick'ems, Ryan? Who do you think?
That was really my pick'ems. Who do I think really wins it? I think FPX. Yeah.
So we're all going FPX for the dub.
Yeah, it's so hard to say because when it gets to those final 4, it's literally anyone's game.
Yeah. Once we've seen some games, especially once groups are done, let's redo this pick and we'll see if our answers change.
And like always, Worlds is very much meta dependent for who is the best team in the world. Like, all of these teams are so damn good and they're so close in skill that it almost just purely depends on which meta suits one of those top 6 teams the best.
Yeah, if Zed jungle is just like 1v9ing every game, and you've played, 30 hours of Zed jungle, pre-worlds, and then someone else who's just as good used to main Zed jungle like a few years ago.
Look at the cleanse.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
gonna
we
be
were
different,
seeing
right?
Jungle faker.
Doonby was playing just before the podcast. Doonby was playing Zed mid, so it could be a flex pick this year as well.
Yeah, nice.
Probably.
We'll see. All right. I think that's our deep dive concluded. So onto our future bets and what we're sort of picking for the play-ins. All right, guys. So we've got 3 picks for you here, and 2 of them are against Galatasaray Esports. We think they're probably getting hyped up a tiny bit too much for the Turkish region. So the first one is Dead Nation Focus Me from Japan. We were saying they were one of the teams that we were looking to get that could have a chance of getting out. Paying $1.74 against Galatasaray, so we've jumped on that pretty early. And then also Beyond Gaming to beat Galatasaray, but this time a little bit less odds at $1.53. So we're kind of, after watching some of the grand finals, seeing that Galatasaray just isn't quite up to scratch. Like, they're making a lot more mistakes than Dead Nation and Beyond Gaming. So we reckon they're pretty high value picks to start off our play-ins. And then we've finally got our, like, probably the best matchup of the play-ins is Hanwha Life versus LNG. And I keep saying I really do rate LNG. Like, they're the sort of team that if the meta is correct, they could really contest for some semi-finals. And if the meta is really right for them, be a dark horse to win it. And I just see them absolutely smoking Hanwha Life. Like, I don't think Hanwha Life is really up to scratch in terms of like a top LCK side that can contest a top 4 LPL team anymore.
So what odds?
So,
we're
getting $1.58 for LNG for that one. I'd be saying that probably needs to be more around the $1.45 mark, so we're getting reasonably good value out of those.
Jeez, LNG must have good odds on the rest. Like, all bad odds. If
they're like $1.10 to $1.15 sort of range.
Yep.
I think it was $1.05 against Peace. So
okay.
and you just
if you want it. Yeah.
And you just don't take those in esports because anything can happen. Like, a team just like does a bush invade and gets like 5 kills from that, like, it's game over. And so it's not worth putting a like 1 to 20 sort of odds.
Especially when these games don't really matter. Like, of course they all matter when they build up, but if
like
lose,
if LNG are
you're
like
not
5-0 and they're versus Peace for their last one, they're probably not trying their hardest. They're already through.
No,
like,
well, they're going to be trying those sort of niche picks, aren't they? That see how they go.
Limit testing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pretty interesting podcast. A lot of predictions and future. Looking into the future, so it'd be interesting to see when we look back at the recording in a month's time how good we were, or if things have not gone according to plan.
We'll have to get Sick Dog to put in her picks next week as well. Just so that
she'll probably say G2 without even knowing. No, not really. No, she's a big LPL fangirl, so I'm pretty sure she'd be pretty heavy on the RNG or FPX train like us. But yeah, anyway, that's all we have time for this week. So thanks so much for listening in. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below if you're on YouTube or Spotify. Link it to your friends. Get it out there. Let us know who you think are the predictions. And we'll chuck our Pick'ems League down below so you can join that. And we'll see who the best predictor is of Worlds. We might have to give you a job if you come top place in our league. But we're pretty excited to bring you this content. As you can tell, we've gone a bit over time this week, so we just can't stop talking about Worlds, where it's the best time of the year. And we know that a lot of you probably only care about League at this time of the year, and that's absolutely fair enough because we get to see the best of the best. Please message us on any of our socials and Facebook, Instagram, Discord, etc.
Yeah, of course. And on the Discord, you can join in with the chat. There's a lot of great tipsters and people that know a lot about League of Legends there that Always happy to answer any questions or just chat about League. So, yeah, join us there.
And like we do give away lots and lots of free tips on our Discord, Instagram, and other socials. But if you do want to get access to all of the tips and some VIP stuff, make sure you subscribe via our Patreon from just $5 a week for a pick of the week, or $20 to get all of our picks. Before we go, we want to acknowledge that this podcast is recorded on the lands of the Kaurna people, the traditional custodians of the lands on which we live, learn, and game. The lands here were stolen and never ceded. The podcast was written by all of us, produced by Sick Dog, and mixed and edited by Seagull. From all of us here at League of Bets, GG easy and enjoy play-ins.
See you guys.
So, yeah.